What's up, guys? Welcome to Girls on Fire ATX. I'm your host, Samantha.
And I'm your host, Esther.
What is up, guys?
What is up? Hello, Sam.
Hi. So we have a special guest today.
Yes, her name is Jess. Would you like to say hi?
Hi, guys.
What if she said no?
Yeah, no thanks.
That would have been very awkward.
I don't want to say hi today.
Not feeling it.
All right. Well, we brought Jess on today because she listens to the podcast, and I think that's super cool. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. You guys are great.
And I want people to get to know you because I think that you have a really cool story.
Yeah.
And especially feel really honored that you want to share it with us.
Yeah. Thank you guys for having me. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, when Esther talked to me about having you on the show and like what the story, like that's the whole point of this podcast, right? It's like not just service industry, but for our friends and people that we care about to be able to come on and like express themselves in any way that they feel. So like that's the fact that you're willing and able to do that is more of our honor than anything.
Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it.
Because that's the atmosphere we wanted to create.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So let's get to know you. I've been getting to know you, but like have everybody else get to know you.
Sure.
So let's start. So where are you from?
I'm from Wyoming originally. So very small town people. Everybody knows everybody. There's like 500,000 people in the whole state. So it's
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's like there's more people in a city block here you know, than there is in the whole state. So I got out of there as soon as possible, you know. I like living in the cities. I went to school. My first degree is in zookeeping. So I did that down in Colorado. I worked at some zoos and sanctuaries for a while. I worked with wolves for a long time. Did some falconry.
Dope as fuck.
Worked at an elephant sanctuary in Arkansas for a little while.
So you've been all over it then?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like to say that I'm a jack of most trades, master of none.
Because you said you also did welding.
I did, yes. My second degree is in welding. So it's just, honestly, I think that more wasn't really like a career move for me. It was just I want to see if I can do this kind of thing.
There's literally, I saw on TikTok last night because I'm convinced that it's like called like multi-passionate person. I don't like to do just one thing.
Yeah.
I need to do all of the things.
Yes.
Like I get bored very quickly. So it's like
that.
I feel the same thing. It's like jack of all trades. I got to be able to do multiple things at one time.
Yep. And, excuse me.
That's okay.
I, lung butter, you know. Gross. Smoker's cough. So now I'm in Nashville. I lived here for a little while, and I was here for pretty much 2 years exactly. And then I
didn't realize it had only been like that short of time because I met you when I worked at Katz when you were at Star Bar.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then I took over for you at Katz for a little while. Shout out. Love that bar. Love those guys. And I just kind of up and moved. I didn't really even tell anybody that I was going because I didn't want people to be like, no, please stay, please stay.
I feel that.
So a few people knew, but I just up and moved. I'd never even been in Nashville before.
It's such a beautiful city.
It is. And I live right downtown. I sold my car. I walk everywhere. I live and work 2 blocks away, so it's great.
If you were going to move to any city, especially with having bartending experience, Nashville would be one of the places to go for sure.
And I know that I can always supplement with that just because I have bartended since I was 21, but I'm so tired of it.
Oh,
we were discussing before, getting up or going to bed when the sun's coming up. It's just I can't. I can't do it.
My body is just getting old. I can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
My
bones hurt.
My bones hurt. Literally, they hurt.
I don't mind the work. I really don't.
Yeah, same.
It's just I can't take the abuse. I'm sick of the abuse. I'm sick of I'm going to work and then how many times am I going to get called a bitch today?
Yeah.
I'm hoping it's 4.
Yeah.
If it's 6 max, I'm gonna kill somebody.
See, I'm so immune to that word anymore. It's you gotta come up with something more creative. I'm not even fazed by that word anymore.
Yeah. And I'm sure with where you work too, I'm sure you see the worst of it too.
Honestly, it's so crazy that I'm even saying this, but working in a gentleman's club or that kind of the sex industry like that, I actually feel more respected in my establishment than I did at any other bar I've ever worked at.
That's amazing.
Yeah. People don't touch me. People don't sexualize me. And I think it's because they know that I'm not the dancer and not that they should be doing it to the dancers either. But like, there's like a level of respect when you walk into a strip club, right? It's like, all right, there's no funny business because you're gonna get your fucking ass kicked out if you even try.
Yeah.
Right.
So I feel like people are a little bit more respectable when they come. Like, I've never really had an issue with like, only like once or twice, but it wasn't even anything to do with me being sexual. It was just some drunk idiot being stupid. So
yeah, I just can't do it anymore.
Yeah, no.
It's just not fun anymore for me.
So what are you doing right now?
I'm managing a tattoo shop, and I love it. I love the people I work with. My artists are great. It's awesome. I just started taking over the PR and marketing for our location. We have 5 locations.
Oh, that's awesome.
So it's fun. It keeps me on my toes.
Are you tattooing yourself?
No, I'm a facilitator of the art. I don't have an artistic, at least not in that way. I don't have an artistic bone in my body. Like, I can barely draw a stick figure. So nobody wants me
You know what's
anywhere
funny?
near them. With
On a
tattoo gun.
totally like semi-related topic, I have been telling myself that I can't draw my whole life, but I've never practiced.
Yeah,
I've never tried.
same.
So it's like, you're limiting your beliefs. Don't do it.
I just don't have the passion for it, you know?
Yeah,
like, I
no,
feel
I
like
get
that's
that.
definitely like, it's almost a reserved thing for people
Yeah.
that have like, I would feel like I'm doing it a disgrace. Like, like it's not for me. But I really like working with the public. Like, that is one thing that I did like about bartending is like, I'm a social butterfly. I like to talk to people, and I can talk to people about anything.
Yeah.
And there I get to do that and sometimes have a little bit more meaning behind it. You know, they're coming to get a memorial piece or a portrait of their animal, or, you know, it's just fun. It's cool. And I really like the atmosphere of it. Like, I kind of fit right in, you know, I've got face tats and head tats. And so it feels right.
Yeah.
But again, not limiting, trying not to limit myself.
Yeah,
I
there you
can't imagine like hearing the stories of what is meaningful to people. Like, can I
Yeah.
get this because this
I'd
is what's
probably
meaningful.
cry.
Yeah.
I actually did cry one day. One of my artists had a man and a wife come in, and they got a memorial piece for their son.
Nope, I'm done. I'm crying.
And my artist was like, went up to my boss and was like, hey, because we're super corporate, right? Like, which is a weird thing for a tattoo studio, but we're super corporate. And he was like, I know that this isn't really allowed, but I would really like to do this piece for free. And I was like, fuck. I definitely had to step away. I was like,
Yeah.
so yeah, it's really
I hope they
touching.
said yes.
Yeah, he did, and he was able to do it.
I mean,
and
at the end of the day, he's the one taking the time
Exactly.
to do the artwork.
Exactly.
So if he doesn't want to take money for it, you know.
Exactly. And they're independent contractors too. So really,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it's up to them. But you know, gotta check with the man first.
Yeah. I'm happy that you seem to be a lot happier in Nashville. And I feel like but I feel like you found like a spot that you'd like to be at for
Yeah.
the time being.
Yes,
That could change in a few years or not,
absolutely.
but you seem to be very happy and level-headed and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no, you're okay. I know that you lived in Austin for 2 years, and I want to talk about that.
Okay.
So where did you start off when you first moved here? Or what brought you here?
So I moved here for an ex. It's always chasing boys. We didn't work out like really quick. Like a month after I moved here, we broke up. So
It's usually how it goes.
and honestly, I have taken full accountability for that demise of that relationship. Like, I haven't really taken my mental health seriously until very recently. And I was just in a not good place, and I didn't understand why. And at the end of the day, it was because of my mental health that we split. Austin's been such a weird place for me because it saved me in a lot of ways, but I've had a lot of detriment that has come from it here. Like, it's such a bitter sweet place for me. But then I started working at Star Bar. That's how I met Sam. She was over at Katz. I did that for a while, and
Also, I didn't know you were friends with Jasmine. I fucking love her.
yeah, we hung out last night. She was like, "Oh my god, you're coming and doing that?" Yeah, she's great. I love her.
I love her too. She's the sweetest.
She was gonna
Shout out to Jasmine.
Yeah, yay, Jasmine, we love you.
Moxie Tattoos on Instagram. if
She's
you're looking.
amazing. Yeah, she was
is.
gonna doodle on my hands today, but I'm like, listen, I stayed out way too late last night, and I just want to go. Home
She
and
can
take
doodle
a
on mine.
She had a cancellation at 4 today.
Don't tempt me.
So you've got time.
Yeah, you've got time. But what was I saying? I'm sorry, I got off track.
No, that was my fault. So you like bittersweet being here and stuff.
Yeah. Okay, so shortly, so I was doing the welding thing. So let me start over. I was welding here first. I was working at a shop down in Mustang Ridge. I was welding.
Where the fuck is that?
It's like south of town, like
Okay.
past the like the other terminal of the airport, like the where like Frontier and those ones fly out of. It's like 15 miles south of town.
Got it.
It's not really anything out there at all. It's not even really a town. But I was welding out there. I was assembling parts and welding them onto like the long haul trailers and stuff.
That's really cool. I'm not gonna
I know,
lie.
like, looking at her, I'm like, I just don't even picture it. But I mean, you know,
I
that's
see a
what's
hot
amazing.
babe
I
with
know.
like a torch.
It's like
Listen.
some Demi Moore shit going on over here.
I used
Seriously.
to, well, and I worked at Coyote Ugly too when I was going to like welding school. So it was very Flash Dance of Me. Like I think that's
Yeah.
that
In
movie,
Austin?
right?
Yep.
No, in Denver.
Oh,
When I was
shit.
living in Denver, I went to the welding school in Denver, and I was working at Coyote Ugly, and it was like, I think of that movie, right?
Yeah,
Is it
I think
Flash
it's called-
Dance or
I think
something.
so. Yeah.
Yeah. So
There's a couple movies that have like referenced that, but yes.
Yeah. But anyway, I met this. Well, I didn't meet him. I started working for this man, who is a little bit. I mean, he's definitely got a reputation. So I'm trying to choose my words carefully here. He's definitely got a reputation, and it didn't work out. I was only there for like a month. And then I went to work for Star Bar, and I was doing like kind of the independent bartending. Like I was doing like the Christmas thing at Zilker and like doing Christmas parties and stuff. Like I was only working like 2 days a week. It was great.
Yeah.
Because during that season, like you can just work,
Yeah.
you know, it was great. But then when I was working at Star Bar, I got a text from said gentleman, and he was like, "Hey, I'm single. You want to come hang out with me?" And I was like, "Listen, dude, I don't want any part of your bullshit." Like, I held him off for like a month and a half, maybe. I just told him I was working so much, and I was like, "Nah, I don't really want a part of it." Well, I ended up giving in. The persistence paid off, and if you want to call it that, paid off. And I started dating him, and then it was like Corona happened, and it was just like well, we're kind of stuck together now kind of thing. And I don't mean that in like a bad way at all. Like I loved it. I really did. I got to do a lot of really cool things, meet a lot of really cool people. I'm very thankful for the really awesome things that I got to do during that relationship, but that relationship is why I hate this city now. You know what I mean? Like, it made me hate this fucking town. That Billie Eilish song.
You made me hate this city.
I mean,
Yes.
that's why I left Florida. Like just traumatic relationship after traumatic relationship. I got to a point where I just couldn't be there anymore, and I was like, not everything reminded me of everyone that I was in like a shitty situation. I was like, I need something new.
Yep.
And like a new part of Tampa wasn't gonna change that. I needed like a whole different fucking
Where
state.
people don't even know your name.
Exactly.
You don't owe anybody a fucking thing.
I knew one person when I moved here, and that's the only reason why I chose this city.
Yep. I mean, I knew a couple people in Nashville. I used to work in the music industry also. I used to tour with bands and do merch and merch managing and
You
stuff.
literally are a jack of all trades
And
over
I'm
here.
honestly, I wouldn't be mad if I got back into that. I really love that lifestyle. Being able to wake up in a new city every day is really
I mean,
fun.
you're in the right city to get back in that.
And I know a lot of people in the music industry, which is awesome. Like, what a fun life to live, just being with rock stars. You know what I mean? But like I said, I only knew I knew 2 people in Nashville. Both of them are musicians, and one of my friends, Rich, he went and like checked out my apartment for me before Like I put the deposit down, it was like it was very helpful for me to like have that person there doing that for me. Cause like I said, I just moved like sight unseen, didn't have a job, didn't have a place to live, just up and left. So he was really sweet of him to do that. And I ended up getting this really awesome apartment downtown. Like it just, the move itself was so easy.
Yeah.
Like nothing went wrong, which for me, that doesn't happen. So I'm like, I can't feel any other way besides positively about this. Like it's just, it fell into place. It was so easy.
That's how moving to Austin was for me. Everything just like happened so effortlessly. That's what made me, I was like, this is the right thing. This is the right choice that I'm making.
Yeah.
So like, and I've been here for 4 years.
Yeah.
Same.
Well, and when things just get really difficult, when it rains, it pours. And especially coming out of that relationship and being fucking heartbroken too. Like it just made it so much easier and made me feel like I was really making the right move. And honestly, I'm going to stay in Nashville for a while. Like I really love it. It's such a cool place. The camaraderie there is just like everybody. Like I said, I'm a social butterfly. So it's like I walk to work every day and I see like 4 or 5 people in the street that I know.
One of my best friends lives there, actually. I don't think she's bartending anymore because she finished nursing school and she like works in a hospital now, but her name's Channing. I don't know if you...
Channing, I love that name.
Yes. She's fucking not only gorgeous, but like the sweetest soul ever.
Cool. Maybe we'll have to like, I'll find her on Instagram or something and have like a...
Because she worked at some of the bars. I forget the names of the bars that she worked at down
Probably
there.
somewhere on Broadway.
Yeah, she's from Nashville. So like her family lives in like Witten something. I don't know.
I sold my car, so I stay in like a 6-block radius. Yeah. Like legit. I don't know where anything is. Yeah. And I've been there for like 5 months. They're like, it's over in like this suburb. And I'm like, I have no clue where that is. I have no idea.
No, but she's super cool. So definitely have to get y'all
in touch.
Yeah,
definitely. It's always, I said, I always say I don't network, I make friends.
Yeah.
So
there's another girl, I don't know if she still works out there because I know that she moved from Tampa to Nashville. Her name's Tara Ellis, but she bartends somewhere down there as well.
And if you're a bartender, it's the place to be. I mean, they can't get help to save their lives right now, and it's so busy. It's crazy.
So I'm going to be moving to Nashville.
It's seriously but it's got to be you're going to make the most money on Broadway, and it's like all volume, crazy bars, and people are just fucking obliterated. Like Tuesday at 1 p.m. It's bananas down there. You know what I mean?
They say that Austin's like the bachelorette party city. I mean, Nashville is like that times 10.
Oh my God. So it's
like Nash Vegas.
It really is. Yeah. They have these party buses there, right? Which I had never seen before. And where I live downtown is like right on one of the routes, and they blare their music, and I legit fall asleep at night to women screaming. Woo!
Vegas! Nash Vegas!
Fucking woo girls. It's every 15 minutes. It's wild. But honestly, it's cute, I think. Like everybody there hates them, but I think it's so funny. Like these people are just having the freaking time of their lives.
I mean, I commend people that can go out and like not act that way, and I don't mean it in a negative way, but like that are able to go out and
loose.
And like have that kind of fun.
Yeah.
I don't think that I've ever like that worry-free where I don't have to drive and I don't care how drunk I get and I'm not concerned about if I end up in the street or not.
Yeah. Well, but the thing is though Broadway's getting, and like I said, I've not been there for very long, and I try to stay off of Broadway just because it's so crazy. But like people are getting stabbed all the time now.
Jesus.
Like
what?
There was a guy that got like stabbed 5 times the other night, and I just stay away from it down there. Like if I have friends that come to visit that have never been there before, I'm like, okay, we'll go during the day, and where it's not so crazy, because you can't even.
Well, and they don't block off Broadway, do they?
They do sometimes.
Okay.
I don't know what when. I have been on Broadway before, just like walking back to my apartment that the street was closed down, but it's not always.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they just do it like they do on Dirty and do it on the weekends. I'm not really sure. Like I said, I'm trying to stay away from Broadway.
So do you hang out? I'm going to make sure I say this right, because I always had a hard time saying it when I was there. Do Bombrin Street? The Bombrin?
What?
It's like where
Bourbon Street?
Huh?
Bourbon Street?
Like no.
That's in New Orleans.
No,
isn't it?
it's like
there's
where
there's a bar called Bourbon Street.
It's where what is it called? It's like another street that's like off of Broadway. It's where a lot of locals hang out.
So where I
It's like-
hang out is Printer's Alley a lot.
Never mind. Don't know. This is like where Froggies is. Man, it's a Tin
I
Roof.
like really want
Tin Roof is on Broadway.
But isn't there another one?
There is in like one of the suburbs, I
I
think.
gotta look it up now because it's gonna bother me.
Okay, it's like DeBombrin. It's like DEBAURA.
DAB.
I have no
It's like there's
clue.
like a block of like bars, and like there's like half of them are like walking distance from each other, and then there's it's not Whiskey Row because that's Dirk Bentley's bar, and that's on Broadway. It's like, fuck, they opened one in Vegas, and I remember hanging out there because that's where they showcase like a bunch of like artists in Nashville on Mondays. At least when I went, it was like a couple years ago. What the fuck is it called?
I mean, the only one that's coming up is Broadway. Then you have like Music Row Street, and then
It's like kind of close to where like the Coyote Ugly is in Nashville.
So, okay, so where the Coyote Ugly was, it's closed now. So that's where the bombing happened. And then
Wait, what?
Yeah. Remember last year on like Christmas Eve, that guy, the suicide bomber, he went and parked that RV down there and it was a suicide bomb. I work directly across the street from that. It's like kitty corner from us. And that whole street is still closed.
Demon Bryn. Is that the street? that
Yeah.
you're thinking
DeBombrin.
of? DeBombrin.
I have no idea what that is.
Yes, right here.
Literally says Demon, BRAUN.
This road.
Let me see where this is.
I don't think I'm saying it right.
Well, the word, I mean, however it's pronounced, probably is not Demon Braun, but you know, I just-
DeBombrin. Because I remember saying it
it's
drunk.
Oh, okay. I know where this is. I've been over there before, but like it's on the other side of Broadway.
yeah.
Is it? Okay. Because that's where
From
I
me.
hung out and I threw myself in a fountain. I wanted a hot dog and I didn't get a hot dog. So for some reason, I thought there's a video of it that I was like, and I like belly flopped into a fountain.
I love that.
Yeah. And then I also did it again at the Gulch.
The Gulch, yeah. The Gulch is like a kind of like a suburb of downtown.
Yeah. There's like there's like two apartment buildings and like kind of go like this or like next to each other. There's a fountain up there too. And I was like, wah! Like,
Our little free soul, Esther.
dude, I didn't give a fuck. I threw a chair. That was wild.
Girl.
We've had our night. I've definitely been in a fountain before, but that was a really long time ago.
I don't think I ever have. I've always been tempted. So my apartment faces the courthouse, and they have these really big, beautiful fountains out there, and I'm always so tempted.
But it's the courthouse.
But it's the courthouse.
Yeah, that's pushing
and
it.
and there's like a lot of homeless people that like sleep out there, so I'm sure they're doing it. They're doing it enough for me. So
That's probably where they bathe.
yeah, that's kind of
I'm good. Yeah, no, I'm good.
So I'm like, I have the urge, but
Not that much.
It's okay.
So you definitely plan on staying in Nashville for a while?
for a while, yeah. I think if I move again, I would like to go somewhere near the water. Like I feel like I've lived kind of everywhere else.
East or West Coast?
I don't know. I think kind of the West Coast right now is kind of wild. So like, as much as I hate to say it, like maybe even Florida.
I mean, there's
Florida
nothing
is
wrong with, honestly, like, I always tell people, if you're going to move, if you want to move somewhere where the beach is like, definitely, that is the West Coast, right? Yeah.
No, the East Coast.
East
That's
Coast.
East.
Yeah.
Wait. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Southeast.
Because I'm from Tampa, so it's the west
And,
of Florida. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, that side is because the beach is over there. Because I mean, you can move. California's great and it's beautiful, but like the water's cold. There's lots of sharks. Not that there aren't sharks in Florida either, but like
The water's prettier in Florida.
yeah.
And
You're
I
gonna
wanna
get
be
more
able to
like a
enjoy
paradise.
it.
You'll be able to like get in the water in Florida versus it's fucking cold all the time.
Yeah.
On the West Coast.
I was honestly so tempted to move to South Padre for a little while. Like after I moved here and was like everything's falling apart, I'm like maybe I should just move down to South Padre because it's so nice, but it's so dead.
See, I've not heard good things about the beaches in Texas.
I've never been.
Honestly,
I mean, I've never
it
been either,
wasn't
so.
bad. We went. My friend Katie and I went like right before Thanksgiving a couple years ago, and it was perfect because there was nobody there. The water was warm. The beaches were nice. Like it was really quiet. It was very therapeutic. Like it was really nice down there. So I was
Yeah.
like, fuck it, let's go. But it's so dead there during the year. Like it's a spring break city. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So during spring break,
it's
like wild.
Key West, Florida. It's like there's only certain times of the year. Like there's certain seasons, like August, lobster season. It's really popular. But other than that, it's very dead. Mm-hmm. Like unless there's something going on down there.
We're kind of feeling that in Nashville right now too. Like, and it's been a journey, like learning the tourism side of things, because like during the summer, like we were popping like every day, running. It's so busy. And then as soon as back to school happened, it was like so quiet. It's so quiet now. And there's days that I'm like, oh my God, what are we doing here?
What's happening?
Yeah. It's so quiet. There's nobody on the street, but yeah. Sorry, I get derailed really easily.
No, it's okay.
That's the story of our lives.
Yeah.
That happens to us all the time.
ADHD for you.
We'll eventually come full circle, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's okay. Would you ever plan on ever moving back to Austin?
Probably not, just because of the memories. I do love it here. It felt weird, like landing last night. I was like, I don't know how to feel. Like,
is this the first time you've been back since you left?
No.
She fluttered her. She fluttered her eyes.
I feel like there's a story behind that.
I came back. Some of my friends are gonna kill me when they see this, because not many people know. But whatever. I came back to see him after I moved, and directly after that, we stopped talking and haven't talked since.
I mean, there's always one point when you end a relationship. Like, it's like the seeing it's almost like that when people talk about they need closure, right?
Yeah.
I don't believe that there's a such thing as like genuine closure, but I think that there is that time where it's like when you see them after a period of time of being broken up, and it either confirms that you made the right choice, or you're like, okay, maybe we can be friends.
Yeah.
9 out of 10 times, I don't ever want to see your face again.
Yep.
Actually, 10 out of 10 times.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest with myself.
So we'll kind of come full circle with like the sex work thing. So I started doing OnlyFans when I moved, because he did buy me the tatas, and which shout out, thank you. So I started doing OnlyFans when I moved, and like he knew about it, and one day decided, after I had visited, I was back home. I'd only just been home like 2 or 3 days maybe.
Yeah.
He decided to make a profile and get on it, and then berate me for it, and was like just such a dick. And I'm like, dude, you've been married to nothing but porn stars and strippers your whole life. Like, what is me having an OnlyFans? How is that any different? And like just made shit on me for it. And I'm like, that's when I knew. I was like, okay, you're a fucking hypocrite.
Yeah.
And I can't.
Well, and at the end of the day, like if it's anything that we've learned and like things that Esther and I talk about a lot, that has nothing to do with you. That is not a reflection of you at all.
Exactly.
That is his insecurities and a reflection of himself.
Absolutely.
And it's like, and it sucks because it really just comes back to like him being insecure with himself, that he can't handle that. And like, again, has nothing to do. And it just sucks because I don't know how that affected you mentally and emotionally. But
it turned me off from it, honestly. Like I really took a step back from it. Like I was making really good money. I got out of debt like my first 3 months living there. So I'm completely debt free now. And it really, honestly, it kind of affected like the way, like my sexual confidence in general. Like I feel like I'm a pretty openly sexual person, and his and I relationship, it just wasn't ever that, which is probably gonna be surprising to some people.
Really?
Yeah, like I had to beg for it.
What?
Beg for it. Yeah,
that's insane.
And it's not like it was bad, you know what I mean? Like it was good, but he's also twice my age.
Yeah.
So that could have something to do with it, but he just never put in the effort. Like he had all the tools in his toolbox to use, and he just chose not to.
So what was it about him that attracted you to him?
The welding thing for sure, just because we had that in common, like right off the bat. And he, like, it's really weird because like I remember seeing him on TV like when I was growing up, but it was never something that I like watched. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's like I really wasn't that aware of his celebrity, if you want to say it that way.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, celebrities are just people, and it's like we see them in a certain light. It's like we not fantasize like
but
in
you
a sexual way.
romanticize
Yeah,
them
but you would
sure.
do like I romanticize Ryan Reynolds. Like, I think that he's the same
Same.
person character-wise as he is on TV. And it
Yeah.
may not be that way.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know.
That's how I feel about G-Eazy. Sorry.
Sorry, Dad. We love you.
He hates it.
He's so tall. I love it.
Oh, he just dyed his hair blonde.
I
So I was like, damn it. He's starting to look like Tyler. Sorry.
Tyler exits the room.
Yeah, he's like, I gotta get
Fucking done.
out.
Okay, we're not going to talk about it. Keep going. And I can talk about that.
And honestly, like we really did have a great freaking connection. Like we sat and talked for hours and hours and hours, but it was always about him. Like I straight up do not think that this man could tell you anything about my childhood, but I could write you a fucking book about his life. You know what I mean? From childhood to now.
What is that, like narcissism or
Oh,
sociopathness?
yo. Not even narcissistic tendencies. Like I learned what a real narcissist is from this relationship.
Oh, yeah, no, I know.
It's not even a tendency. It's like full blown level 11.
The thing is like everyone is narcissistic in some way.
Yeah.
Like I am, you are, we all are.
Yeah.
But it's like the level of the narcissism is like where that gets to.
Well, and it, like once you see it like really control somebody's life too. Like honestly, if anything comes of this podcast and like people need mental health, like help.
Absolutely.
And I really do feel like if he took the time to do it and really do it and not be holier than thou because of it, I think it would really help him a lot. But
he has to admit that he has a problem.
Exactly, and he never will.
Yeah,
he never will. And I knew that he wasn't America's sweetheart coming into this. Like, I will have a lot of people say, well, duh, stupid girl, what did you think was going to happen? But I wasn't in it to change him. You know what I mean? Like, we all have a past. We all fuck up sometimes.
Well, I wouldn't even look at it as a fuck up. Obviously, we've gone into some detail about this relationship, right? But like, the way I look at relationships and when you date somebody, it's all a stepping stone, right? Like you were in it because at that time in your life, like the level that you were at, like you guys met on that level. Mm-hmm. And then as you dated him and started to see things that you didn't like, or as you grew as a person, you basically kind of just outgrew him. And that's why you guys didn't work out anymore. And like you started to see the tendencies, you started to see the things that were no longer attractive to you. And that's when you grow. Like it happens. You either grow with someone or you grow apart. Like there's literally no in between.
No, and it can't be one-sided.
No.
And I always felt like I always said it's your world, I'm just living in it. You know what I mean? Like it's the dog and pony show over there, like constantly. And taking a step back and like looking at how just absolutely dramatic his life is as like a 50-something-year-old man, I'm like, I don't want any part of this. Like, and it's just not gonna go. It's not gonna be good in the end. It's just not gonna be good.
Well, at the end of the day, like I say this lightly because it doesn't apply to everyone, but usually when you get to a certain age, it's like one of those, like they are never going to change.
Exactly.
Like at some point you think that people will realize and grow, and then it's just they hit us. It's there's like a term for it or like a phrase. It's like you can't teach a old dog new tricks kind of thing. Yep. Like, once they, like I love my dad, but he's a stubborn ass old man, and there's literally probably not very much that'll ever change that.
Same.
Same.
I have the same exact relationship with my father.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's like, I just felt like I was putting in so much effort into being like this little housewife, because that's what he wanted so bad. But he just, like, I just never felt appreciated.
Yeah.
I even took care of his first baby mama. Like, she's got Alzheimer's and lived with us, and I took care of her.
Oh, wow.
And, like, he didn't talk to me about it before he moved her in, just moved her in, and I was supposed to be okay with it. And, like, I felt like I bent over backwards for this man for almost 2 years.
I do have a question. Did he ever, like, publicly, like, show you around?
So that's kind of a double-edged sword. So when we first started seeing each other, when he texted me, he was like, hey, I'm single, I got a divorce, blah, blah, blah. Well, that ended up not being true. And I didn't learn that until much later, like pretty much right before I left.
Yeah.
he had told me it was finalized like a few times, and it wasn't. I don't even know if they are yet or not. Not my circus, not my monkeys anymore. But he was very adamant about, you can't say where you're at. You can't tell like people you're here.
Isn't it crazy? He had the things that we allow.
He would. I would like sneak in and out of his house. I would come over and stay the night and then leave before his daughter would get up in the morning. Like sneak in and out for like months. And like it was all, that's why I really wanted to do this podcast, because I feel like I've been so, like my words with this have been so suppressed.
Yeah.
That I haven't really been able to talk about it. And I know a lot of people are curious. I get a lot of questions, you know. I have a bunch of followers from him, you know. It's been such a weird journey of like navigating almost like an afterglow of a celebrity, if that makes sense. Like living in somebody's glow.
Yeah.
So at first he was, you know, you can't post that you're here. Do you want the paparazzi stalking your family? Like just weird shit. Like there would be people.
Did the paparazzi like stalk him?
So,
I
mean, when
did that actually
no offense.
I mean, when he was,
I've hung out with certain celebrities and like his status.
When he was in California, like for sure. Like when he was in California, he lived in California and he was at the top of his game, you know. Yes, for sure. And especially with his exes, and their fame also. But like he threatened me with that. He was like, do you want people calling your mom and your dad and trying to get dirt on you? Do you want people deep diving in your Instagram and finding all these things and like putting you on blast for it? So it, like he scared me, you know what I mean? I was like, no, I don't want that. So I mean, we had been dating for like 6 months probably before. I mean, obviously people in my life knew where I was at and what I was doing. Cause like I said, I pretty much just moved right in with him.
Yeah.
But like he didn't put it out there publicly for a long time. And I had told him like, hey, that kind of bugs me a little bit.
Absolutely, like, it should.
And he like came back at me and was like, what do you want all this attention for? What do you want all this attention for? It's like, it's not about attention. It's like, yeah, dude. It's like, I just want to feel like I'm important to you.
Yeah.
And I never really felt that way. Like
I hate, because I can relate. I mean, obviously not to a celebrity status, but I can relate to that because the last 3 relationships I've been in, they have all hid me. I wasn't allowed to post about them on social media. I wasn't allowed to like, not flaunt, but like I wasn't allowed to talk about it because they were trying to protect me when in all reality it was just fucking bullshit, and they were just hiding me because they were doing shady shit behind my back.
That's what happened to me with Voldemort. We were literally at a restaurant.
Voldemort?
Yeah.
We have nicknames. We have nicknames.
Yeah.
That's fucking funny.
Yeah. So
my ex
mine
is El Kukui and hers is Voldemort.
Well, mine go from like the level of Harry Potter evil characters.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Voldemort's this person because he's the fucking worst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also have like Draco Malfoy, who's like my ex from Vegas. I got Lucius Malfoy, who's like my like recent ex. I also have Professor Snape, who he's living his best life. Like that was college. But no, Voldemort, I remember we were at a Mexican restaurant and he took a snap of the food and I was like up here. And I was like, he like went to tag me and then he deleted it. And I was like, why'd you do that? And he's like, I just don't want you to get like, there's a lot of girls that are jealous. Like, I just don't want you to get a bunch of
the bullshit. Yeah.
And I was just like, I was like, if we're in a relationship, I was like, you need to post me. I like stood my ground and he ended up posting it.
I wish I had been.
And he did too. He turned right around. It was like the next day.
Yeah.
Like after he shit on me for it, he was like, maybe you're right. You know what I mean? But it's funny that you say that, like the girls get jealous kind of thing. Like that's definitely one thing that I've learned is like, yo, there's a lot of fucking haters out there. I made a public Instagram like when we were out, if you want to call it that, with our relationship because I didn't want everybody to see like my friends and my family and stuff. So I made this public Instagram and boy have I had some hate mail on that.
Really?
Oh my God.
People just have nothing else better to do with their lives than to like insert themselves in negative ways.
Well, people have a voice when they're behind a computer.
Like,
internet
I
bullies.
think I've pretty much weeded out all the bad apples at this point, but like for a couple months there, like post breakup and even during, like people would just rip me apart. I had to grow the toughest skin because of that. Like it used to really hurt my feelings. It doesn't anymore. It's kind of funny to me. Like I'll show you, I had to screen record it because this woman was going off. I couldn't even, it's too many screenshots. I had to screen record it. Like everything that this woman was saying.
How could you date him?
No. It was like it was actually I don't know if she was just super religious or like what, but she was like, you're going to hell. You're disgusting. Like like, I will show you. It's like, I have had a lot of hate mail and I'm like, why are you guys mad at me?
Yeah.
Like, why are you sticking up for him? Like, you don't even know him. You don't know, like, just because they see you on TV, they think that they know who you are. It's not.
It never ceases to amaze me. Like, and I'll use TikTok as an example because I scroll TikTok when I'm trying to sleep. And so, like, most of the time I find myself in the comments and, like, just people, it's, like, almost amazing to me. Like, do you really think, A, this person gives a fuck about your opinion? And B, like, you're trying to force your opinion on someone and make someone, like, are you a better person than you're claiming this person to be?
Yeah.
Like, no.
I just don't understand. Like, I have never felt so strongly about somebody else's life that I feel the need to comment on it.
Yeah.
Like, if that makes sense. Like,
I mean, it just kind of goes to show you, and like, take this how you want, people listening, but it's like, if you have time to comment something negative on someone else's life that you have nothing to do with, like literally not involved at all, you're a fucking loser.
Yep.
And you need to find a day job.
Seriously.
I posted a video on TikTok and it started to go viral, but all the comments were so mean because I was talking about an experience that I had with a celebrity and how he tried to use his fame and power to, like, basically, like, Harvey Weinstein me. And then I was like 23 at the time that he, like, attempted to, like, literally manipulate my dreams and stuff. And he was, like, in his 70s.
Yeah.
And when I never went ahead about it, I try to, like, shorten the time of, like, how I could word it all into a TikTok. I didn't say his name, but it was a lot of men on there being like, well, you're the one that went after him for his fame and money. And it's like, I actually didn't. But it's just crazy how they were trying to manipulate it. And I couldn't take the comments because none of them were positive. So I just deleted it.
Yeah.
But it started, literally in the 15 minutes that I had it up, it had, like, almost, like, over 100 likes, and it just started rapidly growing. And I was like, I'm gonna delete.
I mean, I'm very thankful.
I was too scared.
The meanest thing that someone's ever posted to me on my social media is that, like, my body's fake, and I'm like, well, I know it's not, so fuck you. Like, I don't care. Like, you can't. Literally, that's not.
And
gonna
who
hurt my
cares
feelings.
if it is anyway?
I know. But, like, that's the meanest thing that I usually just delete the comment itself.
Same.
Like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, I definitely strongly use the block. Because as soon as, like, I just don't need it in my fucking life. You know, like, why? I just don't need the negativity at all.
It's like, here's to your internet bully. Block.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. And
how cool are you now, bro?
I mean, I was drinking.
Watch you make fake accounts. I just spit everywhere. I saw it flying. I was like, whoopsie.
I was a little lit one night when somebody decided to come at me sideways, and so I actually put them on blast. I've started putting people on blast.
I do that to the guys that send the unsolicited dick pictures.
I haven't gotten one of those in a while.
Me either.
Thank God. I had like a long time.
Yeah, no, it's definitely been a while, but like, just off topic, but the last time I did get one, I don't even know who this guy was. I don't even know if his account was real, but he, like, sent it to me, and I was like, I'm going to report you to the police. This is sexual harassment. He was like, oh, my God, I'm so sorry. Please, no, I'm just... And he, like, was trying to, like, retract. Scared little boy. And I, like, fucking posted it all over my social media. And I was like, you're going to be embarrassed now because you're a fucking loser.
Yeah.
And I think he ended up blocking me, but it was funny because I'm like, this is what you get. Like, no, absolutely not.
Yeah. But hopefully we're past that unsolicited dick pic.
My girlfriend
culture.
sent me, like, she sent me a picture and a text, and when I was, like, looking at my phone, I saw it was the text, and she said unsolicited dick pic, but then it was a picture of her dog, and I was like, her dog's a weenie.
Makes sense.
So I was like, it was funny.
That makes sense.
But
I do want to talk about something because I know you mentioned it, and I feel like a lot of people do deal with it because you said that like he met you at your work, right?
No, so I went to work for him. So I mean,
Right.
yes, kind of, but I went to work for him. I worked in his office for a while and did like admin stuff for him. But I was only there like a month before shit went south.
But didn't he try to like get you to stop bartending, right?
Yeah. So
that's something I want to talk about, because I feel like a lot of girls sometimes when they get in relationships and it's somebody that isn't in the service industry or has like a level of like notoriety or anything like that, it's easy to quit your job and then be completely like dependent on them.
And that's exactly what happened. Like he never outwardly said like you're not allowed to have a job, but like all he wanted was for me to sit in the shop with him all day, and that's what I did all day and sit and watch him work, which I loved. I loved being his sidekick, you know, like it was like being a professional hype man. But it was like I always called him a carrot dangler. So he would be like, oh, I'm going to take care of you, I'll pay your bills. But when it came time, like I hated asking for money. But when it came time, like he would make me feel bad about it. So I'm like, okay, well, what do you want? Do you want me to be here with you all day, or do you want me to go work? Because believe you me, I have a fantastic work ethic. Like I like to work. I like being busy. I have 4 jobs right now. Like aside from the tattoo studio, I work in a record store. Like I'm always hustling. I don't have a shitty work ethic. So it's not like I was in it just to have a fucking permanent vacation. You know what I mean?
Right.
I was more than willing to work, but I think it was just because of the circumstances of the shutdown.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, well now I don't want you to go back to work. Like I was managing a bar on Rainey. I, you know, got a promotion within the FBR family. So like I was doing just fine.
Yeah.
I didn't need it, but it was like, he just wanted me to be with him all the time. And then it became such like, I'll put this term out here, but it's not like 100%, but it's like kind of just the most relatable thing that I can say is like Stockholm syndrome. Like I would get so anxious if I just had to leave to go to the grocery store.
He like instilled that in you in a sense. It's like,
I was like scared to leave.
You became so codependent on being around him.
Yeah, 100%. And honestly, like at the end of the day, it's like we both had fucked up childhoods. Like his childhood was terrible.
Yeah.
Mine just my mom's ex-husbands are crazy. So it's just like I feel like when people bond over like trauma like that, it's really hard to sever that tie.
Yep.
But again, I know all of his trauma. He knew none of mine.
Mm-hmm.
So
you were you had your attachment because you knew your own trauma as well as his.
Yeah. And I could relate to it too. But I don't think he ever once asked me anything about my life. Like, it's so weird. Like, I feel like he really doesn't know who I am. And I feel like I wasn't myself when I was with him either. Like I've said how many times now, I'm a social butterfly. I have so many fucking friends. Like I have a very large circle. I was not allowed to have my friends. He hated all of my friends. He alienated me from them and my family and like made me feel like shit to want to go just come into town and see my friends.
Yeah.
You know, like it was like, well, what you don't want to be here with me? And I'm like, can I just go have lunch with my friend? Yeah. And so it got to the point that like I wasn't talking to my friends. I wasn't talking to my family. Like really, he
definitely isolated you.
Oh my God. Yes. Yeah. And like I said, people are going to say, well, duh, stupid girl. But like once you're in it, it's so consuming.
People like it's
not like it's something that happens overnight. It's something that gradually builds and it gets more and more.
I mean, it's no different in a sense. Like obviously, like to an extent, that's like emotional trauma. That's emotional abuse, and that's no different than like physical abuse. It's like I can look at someone and be like, "Why didn't you leave? Like he hit you. What the fuck are you doing?" But it's like I'm not there. I'm not. And one of my very best friends, the girl Channing I was telling you about. Hers turned it into a whole fucking case because she eventually decided to leave. But like this ex-professional football player beat the living shit out of her to where she was on a breathing tube.
Oh my God.
Like it was bad. And it took like when I ended up talking to her about it, because obviously it was the same situation in the sense that like he like isolated her from everybody. They were always together. Like she wasn't allowed to do anything without him. And when she finally like stepped away and like was telling me the story, and I'm like, you know, listening to how everything, like it was one time and then it said it was never going to do it again. And like, you know, I can't imagine having that emotional love with someone that you think is there for you. And then something traumatic like that happens. And then you're like, okay, well, he loves me, so he's not going to do it again. Okay, so I'm going to stay. Or like, but at this point, she was scared for her life.
Yeah.
Like, she's like, if I'm afraid if I leave, he's going to kill me. And and she tried to leave, and that's what happened.
So the breaking point for us, it did get a little bit physical. Like nothing terrible. We were just having a fight, and I would have to physically put myself in front of him, or else he would just walk off. So like I was trying to physically stand in his way, and he pushed me.
Yeah.
So like I swung back on him and like hit him in the arm, and he came back and was like, "You hit me in the back of the head, like that's fucking abuse."
Jesus.
And I'm like, "Why did you push me in the first place then, motherfucker? I feel like I have to defend myself."
Yeah, like I shouldn't even have to like feel this way.
Yeah, and it's such a slippery slope, because it's like I didn't have a job. I didn't have anywhere to go. I didn't have enough, like he would pay my bills, but just enough for my bills. So it's not like I was like, people think that I'm just like rolling in money. No,
he like made it so that you were completely dependent on him.
Exactly. And then made me feel like shit when I had to ask for like, hey, my car payment is due. You know what I mean? So it was such a, and I do not want to come off as like ungrateful.
Yeah.
Because he did do a lot for me, and I got to do a lot of really cool, fun stuff and meet a lot of really cool people. And like, I don't want to feel or just come off as ungrateful, because I do have a level of respect for him for showing me those things and these people and these experiences, because they are 100% once in a lifetime. You know what I mean?
I mean, every relationship, like something good comes out of it.
Yeah.
You know, so it's an experience. You know, went through something that changed you ultimately for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
You know, you have different boundaries now. You have different expectations, and you know, like what to look out for that you're not going to accept. So aside from even just the people that you met and the experiences you had, like you are now a better person for experiencing those things.
Thanks for saying that.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Because I know this is a lot. And I know that this was something that you were really nervous about and you're super anxious. So I'm going to just say I'm really proud of you.
Thank you.
For wanting to share this. And in no way is this like, it's just to talk about your experience and what you encountered. You know, there's always 3 sides to every story, yours, his, and what actually transpired. But in no way does that mean that yours is not is not important.
My experience.
But I believe that every time that you meet somebody, it's supposed to come and teach you a lesson.
Absolutely.
So what would you say was the lesson that you felt like was the biggest lesson that you learned out of all this?
Honestly, after moving to Nashville, I really took charge of my mental health, which is something that I have struggled with my whole life. Like I mentioned earlier, my mom's second husband was like an unmedicated schizophrenic bipolar. And I had to grow up around that and just fucking chaos always. So it's like I had such a stigma of like, you don't want that label attached to you. So I always really suppressed it. I'm like, I don't want a label like that. I don't want to be associated with that. But at the end of the day, I've realized like I have a chemical imbalance in my brain. Like I need to treat that. And I was diagnosed with bipolar depression, and I've now become medicated for the first time in my life. I'm speaking to a therapist every week whom I love. And it's really gave me so much clarity on, I think, ultimately the decisions that I've made in my life. So I think just like honestly taking hold of my mental health and being a more stable person has been the biggest blessing to me, because I don't feel like adrenaline is coursing through my veins 24/7 anymore. Like it was unbearable. It was fucking exhausting, because my highs would be so much fun, but then that next day I don't have any dopamine or serotonin left, and it's like down in the dumps for days where I can't get out of bed. Just doing laundry seems like the end of the world. You know what I mean? And now I've really taken hold of that. And I mean, I'm preaching, like I use betterhelp.com.
That's what I'm using.
Yeah. See, and I always share it with people because it's great.
Yeah, no, I just shared it with someone last night because
So did I.
it was obviously starting therapy is scary, and I was super fucking anxious, but the thought of being able to like sit in the comfort of my own home and like
I love
that relieved so much of the anxiousness, even though I still had some.
Yeah.
But it helped a lot with making me feel comfortable.
And you have a say in your therapist.
Yeah.
Like they ask you a bunch of questions up front, and like I don't know what's up with their algorithm, but I literally was like, I want a woman and I want a non-religious woman.
Yeah, same.
And they put me with a super old religious guy at first, and I was like, what? So I didn't even have a session with him. I read his like portfolio or whatever, and I was like, this is not going to work. So after that, they let me choose. And I went through some people's profiles and saw their experiences, and I landed on my therapist, Amy, and I love her so much. She has been such a light in my life, and it's not even that, like, it's just, it feels like constructive venting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's now, like, the first thing that we did was a diagnosis.
Yeah.
So, like, once that was off the table, it just made it so much easier to be like, okay, now I'm beginning to understand this.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
it's so important, and it's been a detriment to me my whole life. So it almost makes me feel like, well, what if I would have done this sooner? Like, where would I be? But I can't live like that either.
Yeah.
So
Everything happens for a reason.
exactly. And I wholeheartedly do believe that.
Well, I'm so happy you came on to tell your story, and we feel super honored that you chose us to talk about this. I hope that this has been very helpful for you.
It has been. And I think hopefully it'll curb some people's like
Imagination.
that, and like just like stop asking me about it.
Yeah. I get it. I get it.
I'll talk about it in a constructive way, but I don't want to talk about it with you in
now
my
just
fucking
tell
DMs.
Hey, listen to this episode.
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
And we will be tagging her Instagram in the section below. So make sure that you go give her a follow, and make sure that you are already following us so that you can get that information from us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So on that case, make sure to follow Girls on Fire ATX on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, which I don't update very often, Facebook, which I don't update very often. I'm working on it, okay?
It's a lot of platforms.
Yes.
It's a lot of platforms.
And then where can people find you?
My public Instagram is La Calamity Jane, la.calamity.jane.
There you go. Make sure to follow her, and
stay tuned every Monday at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time for new episodes from us.
Thank you guys for having me.
We love you guys. See you later.